from your family members, even if it's a non-Muslim, come and pick you up and take you back, then this is much advised. And Allah will provide you, will replace you with the money, and will replace you with the struggle that you put seeking His pleasure. And Wallahu la yudhi'u ajra al-muhsinin. Allah does not waste the reward of the good doers. And so sometimes we think too financially and materialistically, and we think that if we do these things that we will lose money. We forget that Allah is the one who gave us the money to begin with. And if we use it to please Him, Allah will put the blessings in it, will multiply it, and will facilitate your life. So whoever among you is able to do that, then let her do that. Don't travel back anywhere unless you have a mahram with you. If you're unable to, then we could try to get you a fatwa from the scholars based on the reality of your position and the nature of your job and the difficulty behind bringing someone to pick you up. I know this is not easy, but it's not I'm not qualified to be giving you this particular concession. Wallahu a'lam. Yes.
I would like to ask about, I'm speaking about myself.
Yeah.
Because the nature of my job, I am working as a nursing liaison officers here in the hospital. And I am alone. I'm alone in the idara with all men around with me. So what is your reactions regarding that?
Right. In terms of mixing between men and women, this is an issue in and within itself, but you cannot really avoid it in the hospital. But as long as there's more than one man, then you're not considered in seclusion. The problem is when you and a man are on your own. Now, once there are more than one sister or more than one brother, then the seclusion is gone. Alhamdulillah. And since you cannot really have this hospital or any other hospital at this point in time become divided into two, strictly men and strictly women, and you cannot avoid it, then inshallah there's nothing on you. You avoid being in any uncomfortable situation, but you as a sister being with a number of men in the administration does not affect you, inshallah, since it's beyond your ability and you're not in seclusion, and you try to be modest as possible, and as keep to yourself, and you know better how to conduct yourself, inshallah, as a sister in Islam. Wallahu a'lam.
But there about Hajj, performing Hajj, some person from the Philippines coming by group, it is their Hajj will be valid. They will come only by shaykh without maharam.
Yes, some of the scholars have given that concession. They allowed that if a Muslimah is traveling with a number of trustworthy sisters or group, then it is okay. But Allahu A'lam, the most safe position is that it is not. Because sisters, see, performing Hajj, as in the Quran or in the Sunnah, man istata'a ilayhi sabila, whomever is able to, and the ability is conditional to financial ability and transportation. So as long as you don't have a mahram to take you, Allah does not expect you to perform Hajj. And Hajj is an act of worship. So to disobey Allah, to obey Allah, is not going to work. Allah does not expect you to come to Hajj unless you have the money to do so, you have the transportation to do so, and you have a mahram. So you tell, in other words, Allah, that I don't need a mahram, I'll go with these sisters to obey you, and you started your trip with disobedience. You see? So the sisters need to understand, Ya akhti, if Allah facilitated for you to come for Hajj, ahlan wa sahlan. If not, Allah will not hold you accountable on the Day of Judgment for not performing Hajj, because you have an excuse. You tell him, oh Allah, I didn't perform Hajj because I didn't have a mahram. And the Prophet ﷺ said, do not travel without a mahram. So Allah knows these things and will reward you accordingly and will protect you at your home. So a sister should not go out of her way and come with a group and perform Hajj when it is not obligatory upon her, because she does not have a person to accompany her, someone from her mahrams. So she remains at home until Allah brings that person. If they never come, then she is given the reward of Hajj without ever performing Hajj. Why? Because her intention was to do it, but Allah Azza wa Jal decreed that it doesn't become facilitated for her. So the best thing is that is not done, because the scholars say that shouldn't be done. Some scholars gave that concession, but it's a weak opinion, and it's not really based on any sound or strong textual evidence. Na'am, wallahu a'lam.
It is the same brother with the performing umrah, like here in hospital, we're going by group.
Now this depends, because many of the scholars consider Jeddah to be from Hadirin Masjid al-Haram. Because see, the issue of mahram in Hajj and Umrah is because of travel, not because of the act of worship itself. Meaning if you live in Mecca and you want to perform Hajj, you don't need a man with you. It's advised to have one with you to protect you because of the crowd. But it is not a condition for the Hajj. The condition for the mahram is travel. And most of the time people come from the Philippines or from their country and they travel here. This is when you need a mahram. So some scholars say that Jeddah to Mecca is travel. And some say that Jeddah to Mecca is not travel anymore. It's 45 minutes and you're there. Based on that, if you are of this position that it is not travel, then you do not need a mahram to perform Umrah. And you may go as a bunch of sisters and perform Umrah together and come back because you are not traveling. If you were living in Medina, no more. Because you would be traveling from Medina to Mecca, then you would need a mahram. Now, and this is, I'm positive about this because I've read, alhamdulillah, many fatwa because this has been asked before. In case you've never heard this before, don't think I'm coming up with it right now. This is the fatwa of Ahl al-Ilm and Lajna Da'ima. Now, Allahu Akbar.
About praying, brother.
Now.
If you pray Isha prayer, you can do Salatul Witr, and then when we remain, we'll do also Tahajjud. We can do another again Witr.
No.
Only when we will do Tahajjud.
Okay.
That's the time we make
La witrain fi layla. You should not have two witrs in one night. And witr really, what it means is odd. And it's basically finishing up your prayers with an odd number, which is either 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9, 11, what have you. The maximum is 11. Some say 13 because of Hadith Ibn Abbas. Hadith Aisha radiallahu anha said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never prayed more than 11 rak'ahs, whether in Ramadan or outside Ramadan. So what you do, if you pray witr before you go to sleep, then Allah allows that you wake up at night and you want to pray some more, then you do not pray witr again. You pray 2, 4, 6 rak'ahs and you go back to sleep. Or you until Fajr. Because you don't pray witr again. But yet if you didn't pray witr before, meaning you prayed Isha, then you prayed the Sunnah, for example, you went to sleep, then you got up at 2 in the morning and you wanted to pray some more, then you pray, or you finish with odd number. 1 or 3 or 5 or 7, what have you. There's a number of ways of how to perform it. Maybe one of these books, or we will, I intend on getting you a particular book, I don't know if it's still available, that deals with all these fiqh and the way to do the salah, the way to do the zakah and siyam. Inshallah, we'll see how Allah facilitates that. Yes?
With regards to praying, is it acceptable to start praying when you hear the first call, or do you have to wait the second call and start praying?
No, sister. The objective of the adhan is to notify the people that the time of salah has entered. And you are expected to perform the salah and preferred as soon as the time comes in. The iqamah, which is the second call, is only given 20 minutes or so later to give the people the chance to make wudu and pray the sunnah. In your case, because you're not praying in the masjid, as soon as you hear Allahu Akbar, then you could begin praying your sunnah and then praying your faridah and you're done. You do not need to wait for the iqamah. And you should not wait for the iqamah because you'll be delaying yourself for nothing. So the iqamah, even a brother who's not praying in the masjid for an excuse, he also prays as soon as the adhan comes in. He doesn't wait for the iqamah. So the iqamah is strictly for the masajid. But as far as the entrance of time is when you hear the adhan the first time. And if you don't hear the adhan, it's on the calendar. No. Allahu Akbar. Yes.
In this college, when we are praying, there is a channel in Saudi, in TV channel Saudi, that every prayer there is praying in Mussab. It is valid if my prayer will be valid if I will pray and follow that Imam in Mussab by TV, or it is valid?
No, it is not. The scholars have given a fatwa that the salah behind the TV, like let's say they're performing the salah in haram and you're sitting there watching the TV, so you say, okay, let me join in the salah. And you can't. Because what if the electricity goes out and the TV goes off? Or somebody comes and changes the channel, then what are you going to do? So of course, the distance is an issue. You must be related to the place of prayer to be part of the salah. You cannot do it through the television because this is not means of ibadah. So no, the salah is not accepted. You should not do it, period. It is not accepted if you did it, and you should not do it, period. You only join the salah in the masjid where a real imam is there, even if you're upstairs or within a close distance. Once you are through the TV, no such salah. Wallahu a'lam. Again, whatever you hear me saying is fatwa that I read. I'm not giving you a fatwa myself. I read the verdict. Fatwa is a verdict from the scholars. I read them, alhamdulillah, try to memorize them, and then convey them to the people when they ask. Do not think that I'm sitting here, giving you fatwa on my own. I'm not this kind of guy. But inshallah, you can feel safe that what I'm telling you is the